Edition of Tucker Carlson tonight, Inside the Issues. Politics is suddenly ripping this country apart. On college campuses, students attack free speech in the name of tolerance. Civil rights activists have abandoned their worthy old causes to obsess over abstractions like global warming. In this once Christian country, leaders are now demanding that we bomb Bashar al-Assad, endangering the lives of the world's oldest Christian community. We'll hit all of those issues tonight, plus they're eating horse meat in parts of this country, amazingly. But we're going to start with the FBI's efforts to spy on the Trump campaign back in 2016. That happened. There's a lot more evidence for it than there is for collusion with Russia. But not surprisingly, the media response has been predictably dishonest. Here's a selection.
President Trump doubles down on his baseless claims of spies.
This so-called spy issue, first of all, there's absolutely no evidence there was a spy. So it's really a fake issue.
It's this phony baloney story about a spy on the campaign. To call them a conspiracy theory is to give them too much credit. Just fake facts.
They're liars. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, as reliable a barometer of mindless conventional wisdom as exists on planet Earth, explained it this way in a recent interview, quote, "A confidential informant is not a spy." Well, Senator Graham did not explain what exactly a confidential informant is, if not a spy, because, of course, they're one and the same. A confidential informant is someone who is informing confidentially, in other words, spying. And any senator who pretends otherwise is prevaricating, in other words, lying. Dan Bongino has been following the Russia story since the very beginning. He's a former Secret Service agent and a contributor at NRA TV. Dan, you've been on law enforcement your whole life. If I'm confidentially informing on you, what am I doing exactly?
Tucker, this is the most of a series of sickening, disgusting, disturbing episodes by the Pravda. No, they're not even Pravda. You know, because Pravda was at least honest about being dishonest. The Pravda media now pretends that they're actual journalists distributing facts. Keep in mind, Tucker, they want to do counterintelligence, these people. They can't even do journalism. Now they're pretending to be counterintelligence and law enforcement agents. This is the most dangerous cover-up by the media I have ever seen. Every serious person in law, I said serious, by the way, in law enforcement that I know, not the hacks out there trying to cover for this, knows what happened here was a spying operation. SPY, SPYY if you're Joe Biden. This was a spying operation. Period. Full stop. Anybody who tells you otherwise is joking around.
They're all telling us otherwise. They're all telling us otherwise, which is why I'm beginning to doubt myself. I'm open-minded. Tell me, sincerely, am I missing something? They're saying it wasn't a spy, it was a confidential informant. Is there some difference that I'm missing?
Yes, there is, Tucker. But the difference works against the Pravda media, not for these jokers, okay? Here's how we would commonly in the law enforcement intelligence arena, where I had intersected and worked for most of my adult life, it would work. An informant is actually someone already existing inside of an operation who would inform on the operations of said operation, the mob, whatever it may be. A spy would likely be someone you bring in who is not a pre-existing member of the operation. You try to insert and intersect with that organization to get information to either prosecute them or investigate them on a CI case, which means the guy in this case was a spy. These knuckleheads are Tucker, you understand this is full-blown propaganda?
I do,
is so
but
dangerous what's happening.
Either way, the person's function is the same. He's spying. He's gathering information, not telling you that he's doing it and sending it to a third party. By the way, if this was done, and again, I'm asking dumb rhetorical questions just because they keep throwing this at you like black is white, 2 + 2 = 8. I just want to make sure I got this right. If they were doing this for the benefit of the Trump campaign, as Clapper is now claiming, wouldn't they have told the Trump campaign, hey, we're worried that the Russians are trying to penetrate you? But they didn't.
Well, Tucker, if this was for the benefit of the Trump campaign, why not equally assist and support the Hillary campaign, right? I mean, Hillary's husband had taken $500,000 in a speaking fee from a Russian bank. Why not equally, the dreaded air quotes here, help them too and put an FBI confidential human... It's a scam. I mean, what's in it, Tucker? The euphemism game. What is it next going to be? An undocumented FBI employee? This is so destructive because the American people, liberal, Democrat, whoever you are, you need to understand a gross disservice was done here. There were illegal leaks, and there was a potentially illicit spying operation for political reasons. Everybody, vote for whoever you want to vote for. I don't care. I'm just telling you what happened here was an abomination to the republic, and the media is covering it up.
It's amazing that they're going along. I mean, it's one thing to see Nancy Pelosi defend the indefensible. That's what she does. But to see reporters, a lot of whom I know and am friends with, have known a long time, they're lying about this. I actually find it shocking. Dan, thank you for the clarity on that, as always.
Yes, sir.
Well, for more than a decade, Democrats have been pushing out in the open, they're not hiding it, to raise gasoline prices. They say this will somehow fight global warming. But now, with the 2018 midterms on the horizon, they're trying to assail the president because gas prices are rising. Chris Hahn is a radio show host, and he's a former aide to Senator Chuck Schumer, and he joins us tonight. So, Chris, this is, I mean, look, there are probably things that you could say about Trump's performance that are negative. But for Democrats who are pushing for higher gas prices to attack Trump because gas prices are rising seems like hypocrisy on a scale we don't see that often in Washington. Or I'm missing something.
Well, Trump should be attacking himself. I mean, if you read his tweet from October 21st, 2011, he said, blame the party in power for high gas prices. Those are his words, not mine, not Nancy Pelosi, not Chuck Schumer. So it's on him.
But okay, I think that's fair, and they're making the case that the drama in the Middle East is making oil prices go up, and there's probably some truth in that. I'm against it, as I've said from day one. But that doesn't change the fact that Democrats, as of last week, Democratic governors across the country are calling for gas tax increases. They're for higher gas tax. It's in the Democratic platform. So what kind of sick person do you have to be to attack someone for doing what you're calling for us to do?
Well, no, you're conflating the issue here. They're calling for a useful tax to help go to other projects, while right now we're just throwing our money away to the Middle East and other places because of the president's own policies. That's
policies,
very
hold on, policies that they support.
We're sending money overseas we should be keeping here.
That they supported. We just had a vote in the House 3 days ago. Force against Iran. Most Democrats voted for it. Chuck Schumer, who's now denouncing Trump pulling out of the Iran deal, was against the Iran deal. They're for military action against Iran. They have been for years, and now they're criticizing it? This is insane.
Well, look, if we had a constructive way to replace the Iran deal like the president promised he would have, maybe we wouldn't have so much turmoil in the commodity market that manages crude oil. That's on the president. This is directly related to him. And if he wants to take credit for things that are good in the economy, he has to also take the blame for things that are bad.
I get it,
this, sir, is on him.
But he's doing what Democrats have called on the country to do, and it's having an effect that they agree with. I mean, it's also dishonest. It's like mind-blowing.
Democrats.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
They have not called for higher commodity prices. This is going to hit the middle class and the working class more than anybody else.
It's in their platform. And if there's any group that has undisguised contempt for the middle class of this country, it's the Democratic Party. That's why they've been for higher gas prices from day one.
That's just not the case. When gas was $2 a barrel, $2 a gallon. Gas was $2 a gallon under Barack Obama. They said, hey, let's put 5 cents on that gallon and put it to programs that we could use for this country. Right now, gas is approaching $4 a gallon under Donald Trump. And I think that's a big problem for the working people in this country. And I think the president needs to address it forthwith. And if he doesn't, the Republican Party will be held responsible.
You guys have a lot of chutzpah, I will say that. I mean,
in 2018.
I'm not even going to look. Anybody who lives in this country who's been paying half attention knows what's on this list. But I have a list here of, I don't know, a dozen different Democratic politicians calling for higher gas prices. Governor Phil Murphy, Governor Jerry Brown, he hiked the gas in California, most expensive in the country. Nancy Pelosi, Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton, one of the dumbest governors in America, et cetera, et cetera. Will Democrats now change their policy on higher gas prices, since you concede it does hurt the middle class? You're right about that. It does.
I think that when gas is at $4 a gallon, thanks to the administration's horrible policies in the Middle East, I think you have to watch out on putting additional taxes on that gas. But if the president could get the things under control that he said he would have great control over when he was campaigning, he said he would have great control over this, Tucker. Those are not my words. Those are his words. If he could get the great control over it, maybe we could figure out ways to raise the gas taxes.
There's no shame. There's no shame. Chris, thank you. Good to see you.
None. I don't think the president has any. You're right.
Unbelievable.